All right, hi everybody. This is one of our very first videos of the year, and I'm not sure when you're going to watch it, whether it's going to be homework or something we do in class, but I wanted to introduce you to the course a little bit, show you the syllabus, show you around Google Classroom a little bit, which I know you probably have lots of experience with at this point. But this syllabus will be posted right at the top of our Google Classroom classwork tab. I'll keep it up there for a while so you can refer back to it if you need. You can see, you can fill in if you want to print this up, you can write in your username here, the Google Classroom code, which probably we don't need anymore because I invited everybody. So I can probably delete that line, which I probably will do. The big thing that I want you to keep an eye on is this right here. So I have a personal Zoom ID. I think I'm going to run all my Zooms just right through that account. If you look at your classes, here's all our classes for the year. I just have a test class for these videos. I have that Zoom ID, so when you log in through Zoom, you can type that ID in. I also created a tiny URL, which if you want to create and bookmark, that will take you right to our Zoom. So that's where you can go for office hours. For the students who are all remote, we will be using that for sure. And then these Wednesday off day office hours, the math department is meeting every Wednesday with you guys from 10:05 to 11:10. So I'll probably set some times for each one of my classes, but you'll log in right through that Zoom ID or that tiny URL I gave you. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, we'll probably be doing some assessments where I'll be asking you to explain what you learned on certain topics. It will all be done through that Zoom ID at this time on Wednesdays. All right. So you can look through this on your own time. I'm not going to go through every word for word of this. But a big thing is let me know if you need access to a Chromebook at home. I'm not sure how many of you have experience with Kami, but it's really helpful as far as us communicating with each other. We can create little audio or video or screenshot clips. So instead of me having to type out to you what to look out for or to respond, oh, you missed a negative sign on question 4, and having to type all this out and you having to read it, it's a little more personal and a little easier to communicate using this Kami software where I can create video and audio clips, and so can you. Unfortunately, right now, it doesn't work well with iPhones or iPads, which I know a lot of you and myself included have. So if you need a Chromebook, if you don't have one, or if you just don't have any device other than your phone, please let me know. It works. This software works on laptops. It works on just regular desktops. Just not great with the iOS software. So if you need a Chromebook, I think that's really important. Let me know. So this year is going to be different. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot of flipped videos. So we're going to work on this a little bit in class, but you're going to be watching a video at home. And in class, we're basically going to be discussing the video, practicing what you learned, doing some activities based on that video, and hopefully getting some good kind of one-on-one small group time to work on the idea from the video the night before. All right, you need to let me know if you're having any trouble with internet access, with getting logged onto a device at home. Okay, so that's the big part of this year is you watching, learning from these videos. All right, and that includes not just, hitting play and kicking your feet up and playing on your phone, rewinding, pausing, watching it a second time if you need to, taking good notes, so really interacting with the video and not just passively watching. So I think a lot of you have experience with this from past years, so I'd love to hear about what works best for you. Okay, with those videos, you'll have little online homework checks so that I know you're watching them. We'll have little entry quizzes to make sure you kind of did what you needed to do to understand it. But we'll get the feel for that as we go. I'm really not sure how the actual class routine is going to go, but we'll do our best and play it by ear. So there's your supplies. A set of earbuds would be good. We have compasses in school. We have calculators, but obviously we're trying to limit sharing of devices and other materials this year. So if you can get your own compass, that would probably be great. You can go to Five Below and get one for a couple bucks. And if that's not, that's not something you can do, that's fine. If you can't get there, or if you just don't want to buy one, I can sign one out for you as well. Grading is going to be different as well this year. I don't see us having a lot of big in-class tests. I'm going to see you guys so little. I don't want to waste our precious, 80 minutes of class time with you guys sitting and taking a test. So there's going to be one big category this year. You'll receive points, different points for different assignments. Obviously, the little homework checks will be worth less. Group work, those explanation videos that I talked about, creating some slideshows, creating some videos, things like that will be worth more, because that's what I'm seeing as being our assessment this year, is you guys kind of showing me what you learned, explaining to me on a Zoom how you would solve a certain problem, explaining to me through a video, what you did to learn, a certain idea for this unit. So it's going to be different. The grading, again, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out, but we're gonna get a feel for it as we go. Now, a big thing, I'm sure your teachers will all talk to you about it. If it is your remote day, or if you are fully remote, you are required to be available during your scheduled class time. So if you have, geometry, third, fourth block, and it's your remote day, I am expecting you to be online. I'm not necessarily going to do any live streaming. You're not going to sit there for 80 minutes and watch me teach a class, but you are going to be expected to log on and submit something during our scheduled class time. So it's not like last year where you were able to, to do your work at midnight or, 3 in the morning, which I saw some people doing. You are going to have to interact with class. It might be something like a Google Doc where you're sharing with the people who are live. It might be something like a survey. It might be a video to watch. Again, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like, but I do need you to turn things in and to be engaged during our class time, and you will be taking attendance, and you will be graded on those assignments. All right, and if that's going to be an issue, if you have a younger sibling that you have to watch at home, or if you have something come up, let me know and we'll figure it out. But that's something you need to plan on. All right, so there's your expectations. You can read these, but the big thing is that you communicate with me about what's giving you trouble. This is new for everybody, and I want to know how you're doing. I want to know if I'm giving you too much work or too little work. I want you to let me know how class is going, in and out of school, how you're doing with everything. I want everyone to feel like we're a community, to feel like we have a group to work with. All right, and the last thing are these learning groups. And again, I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I felt very isolated last year. I didn't feel connected to school when we were home. So I'm going to be putting you in groups throughout the year that the purpose of them is to kind of have an ear, whether it's a friend or not a friend, maybe you'll make a new friend, an ear to bounce things off of. So if you're having trouble with a homework assignment, you can talk to your learning group and say, Mr. Klemps, question number 3 on his homework, I didn't really understand. How did you do? These groups might be used for, end of unit assessments, where I ask you to put together a slideshow for me, where I ask you guys to zoom in with me as a little small group and talk about what you learned. So these learning groups will talk about in class about what I expect from you, and what you can expect from each other. But I think this is something I'm going to try out and see how they go. And as always, I want you to communicate with me what you're thinking is good or bad or hard or easy about it. And last thing you'll see in my room when you get here, I'm a big believer in this growth mindset. I don't think anyone has either a math gene or not a math gene. I know sometimes you hear people say, oh, I'm not a math person. I think your brain is like a muscle. You can train it, you can practice, you can work hard, and you can always improve. So whether you feel like you're strong with math, you can always get better. If you feel like math was something that always gave you trouble, I'm just asking that you work hard and that you do get better, throughout the year. So that's kind of my brief syllabus. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff in class the first couple of days. But looking at Google Classroom, this is just a test class, so yours will look a little different. But at the top, you can see my ID for my Zoom. The stream, this is where you'll see assignments post. This is where, this is kind of my introduction. For the remote people, this is where you'll see the agenda for the day. And the not remote people, this is where you'll see what I'm expecting of you on any given day. So look for that stream. This is where we'll have discussions, posting comments to each other, posting maybe a video that you make to share with the class. And then our classwork tab, you can see this is where I'll post our homeworks. So the syllabus is right at the top. I pinned that there, so we'll be able to access that. But I will post materials. I will post your homeworks, in these individual topics. This is where you'll always go day by day to find your assignments. You can also look at the people in your class by going to the People tab. So right now I have Student 1 and Student 2 in here. You'll see all your classmates there. And you guys know you can go to the grades. So I think that's it. That's the main idea of our syllabus and the main idea of our class this year. So Let me know if you have questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. In our Google Classroom, if you go to settings, I know probably a lot of people felt overwhelmed with emails last year, but you can turn those settings off. So if you go to settings, email notifications, just turn that off. You're going to get tons of things from teachers. I would maybe just have your alerts on your phone set up, but you don't need to have all this stuff clogging up your email. So that's one other thing I wanted to show you. Okay, that is all, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.